but I would not doubt it.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but it just seems like I've heard him do that, with the church choir backing him up and the whole bit. But again, I may be mistaken on that. It wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong about something.
I was kind of surprised to find that Depeche Mode did it.
Oh yeah, and I am aware of that one, and that really is amazing to me too. And they have a very interesting take on it, and I like it as well.
I'm going to have to check that one out. I've never heard that.
No, I've never heard it either.
I would definitely like to hear that. I haven't been a strong follower of Depeche Mode, but I would definitely like to hear anyone that does this number, because it's a very singular and powerful song. And,
David, you might be aware of a guy named Warren Haynes of the Government Mule.
Yes.
Yeah, he was hired to replace Duane Allman there when the Allman Brothers went back out on tour in the late 80s.
Right.
His little trio grew out of that, the Government Mule. But he does, and you can look it up on YouTube or anything. He has a live version of that song with the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. And it's a very New Orleans, Beale Street type version of John the Revelator. I think you'll like it very much.
Wow, that's interesting. Speaking of coming out of prior bands and everything, you came out of a group. You were frontman for a group called Stone Stanley, and I noticed that you refer to the death of Stone Stanley. Something tells me there's a story there.
Yeah, just the death of that entire musical project, to tell you the truth. And not that it had died or anything. I had to put it to death so that Jason Robert could come to life, so to speak. And now I have a very wonderful, tight-knit group of guys around me that we call ourselves the Jason Robert Band. And we're filling up our dates with festivals and all kinds of fun shows and opportunities. And so that's kind of the direction of it. But in order to kind of divorce the past and start anew, David, I did that. What you're listening to there is a one-off solo album where I play everything. I'm kicking the drums with my feet. I'm playing the guitar. I'm singing at the same time. Those are all live.
Oh, gosh.
And,
wow.
Yeah, and that's and I won't ever do that again. That's a one-off solo album. Everything now is the Jason Robert Band, and I got a magnificent group of guys, and we're recording right now. So I hope that I'll have an opportunity to speak to you again when that one comes out.
I would definitely look forward to it. As we tell all of our guests, once you're on the show, you're part of the family. Let us know when the album's going to be coming out, and we'll definitely find a place for you and share the music and promote the album with you on that. We definitely look forward to it. I'm using the word definitely way too much here. But
you definitely are, yes.
Yes, I will absolutely have to get me a copy of the Stone Stanley album. I'd like to hear that. That sounds with your music, your heart, and just what we know about you from talking to you here, that has to be quite a singular expression with the fact that you did all of the instrumentation and music on the album. I'm going to have to look up that one. Where are you playing this summer?
Let me clarify so I don't get beat up by my guys. My engineer, Jim McComas, plays that lead guitar solo you hear. And my buddy, Scott, who's actually in the band, he's the bass player. He is fantastic. And he did those live takes with me as well, because I am only one dude. I got one voice, 2 hands, and 2 feet, but I kick the drums with my feet, play the guitar, and sing. They provided the bass, and Jim, of course, went in later and added that little electric lead. But I'm sorry, David, you asked a good question. What was it again?
Did I ask a question?
You asked a brilliant question, but I had to clarify my earlier comment.
I appreciate that, and don't hesitate. This is your stage. I'm just here to give you ideas what to talk about. And I had asked where you're appearing this summer.
Oh, gosh. Thank you. It's a good question. It seems like we're going to be somewhere every weekend or every 3 or 4 days from now until about October. But if I were just going to pick out some of the bigger highlights, we're looking forward to some of the bigger blues festivals that we'll play, the Long Beach Blues Festival and the Kern River Blues Festival, and we're going up to Idaho in July for a really big show to showcase with Live Nation. I'm sure you're aware of who they are. And so
Right.
we just got a lot of fantastic opportunities, and we treat it like a family outing now, David. I'm not a 19-year-old anymore, and so I don't want to live in a van. So now, when we plan shows, I encourage the guys in my band to bring their family, and we turn everything into like a vacation, an outing,
Awesome.
if you will.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. I like that. Now, before we move on and run out of time here, one of our standing rules here has to do with self-promotion, and our policy is self-promotion is highly encouraged. So tell the folks how they can find you online, maybe pick up your schedule when you're going to be playing near them, and just keep in touch with you.
Well, thank you, David. JasonRobertBand.com. A lot of times people think there's an S after my last name, Robert. It's not Roberts. It's just JasonRobertBand.com. And, of course, we're all over Facebook and Twitter and everything else. But if you just went to JasonRobertBand.com, that's where you can see our touring schedule. You can, order some of our albums and interact with us. And we sure love to see everyone that would come on there and hang out with us.
Well, we'll see if we can't drive some people over your way to check you out, maybe check you out in person. Keep in mind that if you ever get into the Fort Myers, Naples, Florida area of Florida, or that's where John is, or if you ever get out in the Phoenix area, give me a shout. I'd definitely like to catch you in person, and definitely have, there I go again. Okay, we will absolutely have to have you come back on the show. Keep in touch. Let us know what's going on. Let us know about the new album, and we'll put something together to have you back here and share the music.
That's fantastic. Thank you, David, so much.
You're very welcome, and thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Robert of the Jason Robert Band, and this is Mr. Bell.
Have you done today? Tell no lies or compromise. Whom have you laid to waste? We'd like to see inside your brain for once, to see the world as you do. Well, Mr. Bell, tell me, how do you do? Come, you children, tell me now, what will they ever say? Knowing you could have stopped the end of all of our days. They say there's no way that anyone can ever really replace the bombs and guns and war machines that laid our mother to waste. Well, you're on the right side of history, just the wrong side of the law. If all this life's a mystery, better find where you belong. Well, Mr. Bell, whom do you toll for today? Hypnotized, just tell no lies. The belly of hell she awaits. We'd like to see inside your brain for once, to see the world as you do. Well, Mr. Bell, tell me, how do you do? someday we'll all be at the end of a rope and tree to climb. And I just hope to breathe again before my time in line. Side of history, just the wrong side of the law. If all this life's a mystery, better find where we went wrong.
And there you go, Jordan Robert and Mr. Bell, and that just about there you goes the entire show for this week. We've done it again. We've gone through another hour with some great indie music and some wonderful guests, and we hope you'll come back and join us again next week when we'll try to put the whole package together and do it all over again. Meanwhile, John Bon Jovial, I think it's time you take us home.
And not to mention some pretty doggone good music, too. That's right, David. Hey, folks, thanks for being with us today. We really appreciate you taking the time to out of your busy day to listen to us here at the David Bowers Awards, which is broadcast around the world, by the way, from the studios of Computer Help USA in Naples, Florida, and is available for free on Blog Talk Radio, also on YouTube, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spreaker, Amazon Alexa devices, basically anywhere you get your favorite podcasts, that's where you're going to find the David Bowers Awards. Be sure to click the follow link on our Blog Talk Radio page and like the David Bowers on Facebook as well as Twitter, so you can keep up on all the news and happenings that are going on in the wild, wacky, and wonderful world of indie music. Be sure to join us next week for the David Bowers Awards Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern on WRFZ-FM 106.3. That's Rochester Free Radio. And on Blog Talk Radio Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and of course 7 p.m. Universal Time coordinate for more great indie music and talk with the artists that make it all happen. So until next week, for the David Bowers, Nick, our wonderful geeky engineer, I am yours truly, the legendary John Bon Jovial, saying, hey, thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week right here on the David Bowers Awards.